All right, lovely to be here in Tallinn. I've come from England, but via Helsinki, which is good. My God, the Finns love yogurt, don't they? Those guys are obsessed. I love it. Great. Yogurt, of course, discovered 7,000 years ago. To put that in context, the spoon discovered 3,000 years ago. That is 4,000 years before someone thought, oh, there must be another way. It's good. My first like big journey away from my girlfriend. We're in a long-term relationship. We've actually been together a few years. Just only now it started to feel long. It's good. It's good. Yeah, I don't miss being single. Do not miss it. I remember when I was single, I hooked up with someone. We decided we were going to be friends. And then a couple of weeks later, she texted me and she said, "Oh, just to let you know, I think you should get tested." Yeah, not great news, but I was like, all right, okay, wore a condom, probably should be fine. I'll get down to the clinic as soon as possible. Thank you for doing the right thing. Not everyone would have done that. And she texted back, she went, no, Bert, I think you have autism. I think you should get tested for that. I know, always do wear a condom. In fact, I'm wearing one now. You can't be too ready. I don't know what she picked up on. I don't know, like whether it's a vibe. Like my dad had autism. I say had, he passed. I'm not sure whether he still is autistic. I'm not sure whether that continues on into the afterlife. Whether like autism is attached to the soul. Or whether it just gradually builds up in the ground. And then the ground gets more autistic, and then they turn it into cement. The most orderly of all the ground. Yeah, it's good. Do not miss being single, man. Do not miss it at all. I spent all of my 20s being single, and I had a huge crush on this one person. I really had a massive crush on her, and I would go on dates with other people, and then I would confide in her how I was having a difficult time. And, you know, she was a good friend, so she'd go, "Oh, no, Bert, don't worry about it." And she'd go, "If I was straight, I'd date you." And I was like, "You're bisexual." It's still an option. And she was like, nah, you know what I mean. If I had less choice. It wasn't all bad. I went on a few good dates. Like I went on a lovely one. I remember what we did is we went for a walk up a hill. We sat on a bench. We watched the sunset together, and it was amazing. And she was clearly enjoying the date as much as I was, because she reached over to put her hand on my leg, but because she was looking forward, she reached too far and ended up on my groin by mistake. Embarrassing, right? But I'm just glad at the time when she grabbed me down there, I was sort of at like a semi. Because I think on a date that's going well, that's about right. It's respectful. It's the polite amount to be erect. At that point. You know, there's no ego in it. There's no assumption. It's like whatever happens, I'm ready either way. No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I learned a lot in those years. Like, I think I learned to be a better feminist. That's why, you know, during sex, I make sure that I don't come either. It's the right thing to do. But no, now I've been with my girlfriend for a few years. You get the pressures, right? People say, "Oh, you've got to have kids. You've got to do all these sorts of things. All these sorts of things." My friends, like, they're all having children as well, and like even the ones that aren't having children, they're being annoying about it. Some of my friends are even getting practice kids, or as they like to call them, pets. And I know they're practice kids because they always say the same thing. They'll always be like, "Oh, that cat's my baby. That cat's my baby." And I'm like, "No, it's not. I know it's adopted." You're not fooling me. Just because you're both ginger. Even my friends who aren't having children, they're being annoying, right? Like some of them are saying stuff like, "Oh, well, we're not having children for moral reasons." I don't think it's a nice thing to say when a lot of your friends are having children, to say that publicly. I get why you might think it. They'll say stuff like, oh no, I could never have children. I couldn't bring a child into this world. What with Trump being re-elected? What with climate change? And I get it, but I don't think it's nice to say. I think if you are saying that to your friends who are having children, I would agree with you. You definitely shouldn't have kids. Because they'd be fucking annoying. Because they're raised by you. Can you imagine that parent raising that child? The parent just going, oh, I'm sorry, son, for bringing you into this horrible world. Just a 2-year-old boy in a high chair going, Father, why do I suffer? No, thank you. No way. People say you gotta have kids now. I say you gotta do it. Like my friend, he made this argument to me. He said all across Europe, right, birth rates, they're declining. It's going to cause all sorts of problems in the future. Like it's going to cause problems around looking after the elderly, infrastructure, all these things, just because birth rates are low. And I hadn't heard that one before. And I was like, that's interesting. That argument to be made like that, you know. Low birth rates, of course, means fewer MILFs. Yeah. We're running out of MILFs. And no one is talking about it. Sure, they're in your area now, but for how long? We're going to have a scenario in the UK where in a couple of generations we're going to have to start importing our MILFs. And I don't know if you've been following the news back in the UK. Of course, there'd be a backlash to that. People would go, no, I want British MILFs. Homegrown, organic, British MILFs. And by the way, I am not trying to be anti-patriotic, of course. I love a lot of the great work that local MILFs are doing. Oh, fantastic MILFery, but you've got to now accept the reality that we live in a global MILF market where the free movement of MILFs benefits not only the MILFs themselves, but the consumers of the MILFs work. We can't subsidise regional MILFs indefinitely. People are saying we've got to boost GDP, gross domestic pussy. My dad and I, we disagreed a lot on immigration. He was much more against it than I was. I think, you know, it has positives. He was very much anti. Like in the UK, people are trying to get into the UK by doing the crossing at Calais on the boats. They make a very dangerous crossing across the English Channel to try and make it into the country legally, right? And he's of the opinion that these people shouldn't be treated compassionately. He goes, what if they come to the UK? They'll never be British. What if they won't be British enough, in his words, right? I would argue what could be more British than fleeing a war-torn country, making it halfway across the world, all the way across Europe, eventually to France. What could be more British than getting there and thinking, fuck me, I'd rather drown than stay in France. If I see another baguette, I'm swimming it. It's as British as it gets. No, I think my attitude to kids is changed. It used to be like, no way. It was like, no way, I'll never do it. Whereas now I would say, like, I'm not ready. I'm open to it, but not now. And it sounds like a small change, the difference between no and not ready, but I think it's a massive change. And I can give you an example, right? You know, if you were to ask me, Burt, are you a terrorist? And I go, no. Great. If you were to ask me, Burt, are you a terrorist? And I go, I'm not ready. My God. Terrifying. I was trying to think, like, what made me change my mind, what made me think about it differently. And I think that's because I used to work in a school. I worked in a school for a little bit. I worked as a teaching assistant, so I'd help the children. I'd look after the children, sort of help them, like, play during lunch break and stuff like that, supervise them for that. And I thought I wouldn't enjoy it. I thought that these kids, they wouldn't have time for me and that I wouldn't have time for them. And I really, really did like it. And that surprised me. And I was surprised that they liked me. I really was. I remember one day I was supervising the children in the playground, and a little girl, she came up to me and she said, one day, Burt, when I grow up, I might like to marry you. Which is sweet, right? But I had to explain to her that she really wasn't my type. I was like, firstly, your conversation is rubbish. Your homework's always late. And you are 7 years old. Mainly that last one, to be honest. That's a big red flag for me. But apparently I was too harsh, right? I upset her, and the headmistress, she took me to one side and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "All I'm doing is saying that I wouldn't go out with a 7-year-old girl." Which I would argue is why you've hired me. And she was like, no, but you need to be more compassionate to the children. I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? In that situation, I can't let her down gently. I can't be like, oh, I don't know, maybe one day, if you grow up to be hot. Not appropriate, is it? But I think that's what's changed my attitude to having kids. I think it was maybe that. I mean, maybe just hanging out with them, realizing, oh, right, they're all right, isn't it? Definitely not ready now, like I said. I'll tell you how I know I'm not ready, right? I found out this amazing fact about newborn children, newborn babies, right? These babies, once the moment they are born, if they're put underwater, they know instinctively to hold their breath from the moment they are born. I think there's an incredible inbuilt reflex that they just know that. But I know I'm not ready because I would test that. And while I'm there, see if they're a witch. That's a twofer. Do not miss being a child myself. I had some interesting experiences. I remember when I was a kid, I had a very severe allergic reaction to one nut specifically, a Brazil nut. It was a big reaction, right? I had to get rushed off to hospital. Spoilers, I lived, but basically it turns out it was fine. I just needed to avoid this one specific obscure nut. Not a big deal. Like I found out when I was 7 because I hadn't run into it, and nothing about my life changed massively. I didn't after that then go home to my mum and go, "Oh, what's for dinner?" And she was like, "Oh, well, it was going to be Brazil nuts, but it isn't because of your disability. It's cashews again." The only real thing that changed was the way that my school treated me. They were obsessed with this allergy. Everywhere we went, they'd go, "Oh, have you got your EpiPen? Have you got your adrenaline stick?" And I'd be like, "No, we're going swimming. There's not going to be a nut in the pool. And even if there is, I reckon I'm quicker. I'm faster than a nut." But because of this allergy, right, I got lumped in at school with all the other kids with nut allergies. Even though I could eat like a Snickers, it wasn't a big deal. Like, that didn't matter. In many ways, I was kind of like their god. Because I could eat all the other nuts, and they'd be like, "Oh, Bert, what does it taste like?" And they're like, "Oh, they're amazing. Oh, so good. Oh, anyway, enjoy your nutless gruel, boy." No, every lunch break I had to get lumped in with these dweebs and sit at what was known as the no nut table, which in hindsight, not a name that I like. Not one that I enjoy at all. No, it's been interesting thinking about like all these different things. Like, I did say that I lost my father, and it's interesting now being sort of the oldest man in my family. I think maybe that's why my thinking has shifted. Like, my father, he passed of motor neuron disease, specifically the disease that famously was had by Stephen Hawking. Wild, by the way, that Stephen Hawking was pictured on Epstein's island. That's wild that he was pictured there. I had no idea Epstein's island was disabled accessible. What an inclusive paedophile he was. There's a statistic, actually, that actually disabled people, physically disabled people, are far, far less likely to be paedophiles than able-bodied people, which I think is a tragedy. Because if we were a truly equal society, more disabled people would be able to go on to be paedophiles. That's our problem. Right? I think of some of the barriers my dad might have faced, and he wanted to be a paedophile. He would have been very heavily disabled towards the end if I had to say to my mum, his wife of 30 years, "Oh, by the way, I'm a paedophile. Can you help me?" You can't get the government won't give you a grant for that. You get a van, which I guess is helpful. But that's it. But no, that's what my dad had. He had that disease, and obviously it's difficult in those circumstances. But his last words to me were so funny, man. They were so funny, and I'll never forget them. This is exactly as it happened. My dad passed around the time that I went full time with comedy, and I was figuring it out. How can I make this work? How can I pursue my dream? And I was sitting in the sitting room, right, with my sister, and I was on the sofa. She was sat over there, and then my father, who was very heavily medicated towards the end, and very disabled, right, he was sat over there, and I was talking to my sister, saying, I know what I'll do. I'll start a mailing list. And then my dad, who it turns out was awake, leans over to me, and in a ghost whisper, just says, make sure they can unsubscribe. Those are my dad's last words to me. Him shitting on my mailing list. But it feels appropriate if they were my last words to you now. You've been absolutely lovely. If you like what I do, check me out on the thing on the bar. But other than that, thank you, talent. You've been absolutely amazing. Take care. Bye-bye.